The plasma gates on Naboo opened, and Obi-Wan Kenobi sprinted through just in time. Darth Maul's crimson blade swung toward Qui-Gon Jinn's exposed back, but Obi-Wan's blue lightsaber intercepted it. "Master!" Obi-Wan shouted, blocking, parrying, buying seconds. Qui-Gon spun, exhausted but alive, and together, Master and apprentice drove Maul back. The Sith fought with fury, but against two Jedi, he was outmatched. Obi-Wan severed Maul's saber staff. Qui-Gon drove his blade through the Zabrak's chest. Darth Maul fell defeated. Qui-Gon collapsed, to one knee, wounded, drained, but alive. "Thank you, Padawan," he whispered. Obi-Wan helped him up. "Always, Master." News of Qui-Gon's survival spread quickly. The Jedi Council celebrated quietly, but one Jedi felt it more deeply than the rest. Count Dooku. Dooku had already begun to lose faith in the Order. The corruption in the Senate disgusted him. The Council's passivity frustrated him. And when Darth Sidious first whispered to him through the Force offering power, purpose, a way to fix the galaxy, Dooku had been tempted. Very tempted. But then Qui-Gon lived. Dooku stood alone in his quarters on Sereno, staring at a holographic message from his former Padawan. "Master Dooku," Qui-Gon said warmly, "I'm alive thanks to Obi-Wan. I wanted you to know first, the Force works in mysterious ways. Perhaps it's telling us both, there's still hope for the Order, for the galaxy." Dooku played the message 3 times. And each time the pull toward the dark side weakened. When Darth Sidious reached out again offering apprenticeship, promising the destruction of the corrupt Republic, Dooku made his choice. "No," he said into the shadows. "I will not fall." Sidious's presence recoiled, surprised, furious. "You refuse me?" "I refuse darkness," Dooku replied. "My student still believes in the light, and so will I." The connection severed. Dooku returned to the Jedi Council, not as a disillusioned exile, but as a reformer. He would fight corruption from within the Order. He would challenge the Senate. He would protect the galaxy the right way. But across Coruscant, in the Chancellor's office, Palpatine smiled coldly. Dooku's refusal was inconvenient, but not fatal. The plan would continue, just differently. And Palpatine began searching for a new apprentice. Someone younger, more malleable. Someone named Anakin Skywalker. Count Dooku returned to the Jedi Council with renewed purpose. He didn't abandon his criticisms, he weaponized them. "The Senate is corrupt," Dooku declared during a council session, "and we do nothing but watch." Mace Windu frowned. "The Jedi serve the Republic, not rule it." "We serve the people," Dooku countered, "and the people are suffering, while senators line their pockets." Yoda studied him carefully. "What do you propose, Master Dooku?" "Investigation," Dooku said firmly, "starting with Chancellor Palpatine." The room went silent. Ki-Adi-Mundi spoke cautiously. "The Chancellor has been instrumental in holding the Republic together." "Has he?" Dooku challenged. "Or has he simply benefited from every crisis? The Trade Federation blockade, the Military Creation Act, emergency powers granted never returned." Obi-Wan Kenobi, now a council member himself after Qui-Gon's recommendation, leaned forward. "Master Dooku has a point. Palpatine's rise has been unusually fortunate." Mace's jaw tightened. "You're suggesting the Chancellor is orchestrating the Republic's problems?" "I'm suggesting we find out," Dooku replied. The council reluctantly agreed, but cautiously. Dooku was given permission to investigate quietly. No public accusations, no political disasters. Just truth. Dooku worked tirelessly. He reviewed Palpatine's career, his time as Senator of Naboo, his sudden rise to Supreme Chancellor after his predecessor's mysterious death. He traced financial records, studied voting patterns, questioned aides, and he found shadows. Palpatine's past was too clean, his enemies too conveniently removed, his allies too perfectly placed. But every lead Dooku followed hit a wall. Records were sealed. Witnesses disappeared. Evidence vanished. Someone was protecting Palpatine. Or Palpatine was protecting himself. Dooku brought his findings to Qui-Gon, trusting his former student's judgment. "Master," Qui-Gon said carefully, "what you're suggesting is—" "Treason," Dooku finished. "I know, but what if the Republic's greatest enemy isn't the Separatists, but the man leading us?" Qui-Gon was silent for a long moment. "Then, we need proof. Real proof." Dooku nodded. "Then I'll find it." But in the Chancellor's office, Palpatine felt Dooku's investigation through the Force, and he began planning his counterattack. "If Dooku won't serve me," Palpatine murmured, "then he must be discredited." And the Sith Lord began weaving a trap. Dooku found the final piece on Coruscant's lower levels, a Sith artifact dealer who'd sold ancient holocrons to a government official matching Palpatine's description. The dealer didn't survive the meeting, but Dooku got what he needed. He returned to the temple and demanded an emergency council session. "Masters," Dooku said, voice steady but urgent, "I know who the Sith Lord is." Every Jedi leaned forward. "Supreme Chancellor Palpatine," Dooku declared, "is Darth Sidious." Silence. Then, chaos. "Impossible," Mace Windu said sharply. "Is it?" Dooku challenged. "He's studied Sith artifacts. He's clouded our ability to see through the Force for years. Every move he's made has strengthened his power. He is the Sith we've been hunting." Yoda closed his eyes, reaching into the Force. "Clouded. The Chancellor's presence has always been. But proof, do you have?" Dooku presented everything: financial records, witness testimony, the artifact purchases. It was damning, but not absolute. Ki-Adi-Mundi spoke carefully. "If we accuse the Chancellor and we're wrong, the Jedi will be seen as traitors. The Republic will turn on us. And if we do nothing," Dooku countered, "the Sith wins." Mace Windu stood. "We move carefully. We gather more evidence. Then we act." "We don't have time," Dooku argued. "Sidious knows I'm investigating. He'll strike before we're ready." "Then we prepare for that," Mace said firmly. The Council agreed reluctantly to increase security, monitor Palpatine, and prepare for confrontation. But they wouldn't act yet. Dooku left the chamber, frustrated, furious, but bound by the Council's decision. Qui-Gon caught up with him in the hallway. "You did the right thing, Master." "Did I?" Dooku asked bitterly. "Or did I just give Sidious time to destroy us?" Qui-Gon placed a hand on his shoulder. "We'll stop him. Together." But in the Senate building, Palpatine felt the Jedi's hesitation. And he smiled. "They know," he murmured to himself. "But they're too afraid to act. They're too afraid to act." He activated a hidden comlink. "Begin the war," he ordered, "and ensure the Jedi are too busy to investigate further." Across the galaxy on Geonosis, the Separatist crisis ignited, and the Clone Wars began. Count Dooku stood on the bridge of a Venator-class Star Destroyer, commanding clone troopers with the precision of a master tactician. The Battle of Christophsis raged below. Separatist droids poured through the streets, but Dooku's strategy was flawless. "Commander," he ordered, "deploy the ATEs on the western flank. Cut off their supply line." "Yes, General," the clone replied. Dooku was the Jedi's most successful general, not because of the Force, but because of strategy, discipline, and experience. He outmaneuvered Grievous at every turn. He anticipated Separatist tactics. He protected his troops. But he never stopped investigating. Between battles, Dooku studied Separatist communications, searching for connections to Palpatine. He interrogated captured leaders. He traced funding. He followed every thread. And slowly, he found patterns. The Separatists received orders from a hidden source, someone coordinating their attacks with Republic weaknesses, someone who knew Jedi deployments before they happened. Someone inside the Senate. Dooku brought his findings to Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, now his allies in the war. "The Separatists aren't acting independently," Dooku explained. "They're being directed by Sidious." Anakin frowned. "But if Palpatine is Sidious, why would he fight a war against himself?" "To gain power," Dooku said. "Every emergency grants him more authority. Every battle justifies his control. He's using the war to dismantle democracy, and we're helping him." Obi-Wan's expression darkened. "Then we need to end this war fast." Dooku nodded. "And expose him before he consolidates too much power." They worked together, Dooku leading campaigns, Obi-Wan gathering intelligence, Anakin executing daring strikes. The Republic began winning decisively. But Palpatine watched with growing concern. Dooku was too effective, too close to the truth. He needed to be removed. Palpatine began whispering to Anakin subtly, carefully. "Master Dooku is obsessed," Palpatine said during a private meeting. "He sees conspiracies everywhere. It's clouding his judgment." Anakin hesitated. "Master Dooku has been right about a lot of things, Chancellor." Palpatine smiled gently. "Has he? Or has he simply convinced you to doubt your own leaders?" The seed was planted, and Palpatine began preparing his final move. Because if the Jedi wouldn't turn, he'd have to destroy them all. Anakin Skywalker sat alone in the temple's meditation chamber, haunted by nightmares of Padme dying. Count Dooku found him there. "You're troubled," Dooku observed. Anakin looked up defensive. "I'm fine." "You're lying," Dooku said calmly. "I can feel your fear from across the temple." Anakin's fists clenched. "The Jedi say fear is forbidden." "The Jedi say many things," Dooku replied, sitting beside him. "But fear isn't forbidden. Acting on it recklessly is." Anakin frowned. "What's the difference?" "Control," Dooku said. "I've felt darkness too, Anakin. I've been tempted by promises of power, of fixing the galaxy through strength alone." He paused. "But I learned power without wisdom is tyranny." Anakin listened, really listened. Over the following months, Dooku trained Anakin alongside Obi-Wan. He taught him political strategy, emotional discipline, and how to recognize manipulation. "Chancellor Palpatine is very interested in you," Dooku said one day. Anakin nodded. "He's been a good friend." "Has he?" Dooku asked carefully. "Or does he tell you what you want to hear?" Anakin hesitated. "What do you mean?" "The dark side doesn't announce itself, Anakin. It whispers. It offers solutions to your fears. It makes you feel powerful right before it enslaves you." Anakin thought about Palpatine's words, "The Jedi will betray you. Only I understand your potential." And for the first time, he questioned them. When Padme's life was truly threatened, not by visions, but by separatist assassins, Anakin didn't turn to Palpatine. He turned to Dooku. "Help me," Anakin said desperately. Dooku didn't offer dark side solutions. He offered action. Together, they tracked the assassins. They protected Padme. They stopped the threat without sacrificing Anakin's soul. Afterward, Anakin knelt before Dooku. "Thank you, Master." "I'm not your master," Dooku said gently, "but I will always guide you toward the light." Palpatine felt Anakin slipping away, and he realized Dooku had to die. Not later. Now. He accelerated his plans. And activated Order 66 early, hoping to destroy the Jedi before they could strike. But Dooku had prepared for this. And the Jedi were ready. Count Dooku had spent months quietly investigating the clone army. Something about them felt wrong. He discovered the inhibitor chips buried in their brains. He traced their origin to Kamino and to orders placed by a deceased Jedi named Sifo Dyas. Except Sifo Dyas hadn't placed those orders. Palpatine had, using the Jedi's name. Dooku brought the evidence to the Council. "The clones are programmed to kill us." The Council was horrified. Yoda acted immediately. "Remove the chips we must. Quietly. Before Sidious knows." The Jedi worked in secret medical droids, extracting chips from clone commanders during routine health inspections. Captain Rex, Commander Cody, and other key leaders were freed first. When Palpatine gave the order Execute Order 66, nothing happened. The clones didn't turn. They didn't fire. On Coruscant, Commander Fox received the order and ignored it. On Kashyyyk, Commander Gree refused. Across the galaxy, clone troopers stood beside their Jedi generals. Palpatine's face twisted with rage. "How?" he hissed. Mas Amedda entered nervously. "My lord, the Jedi Council is mobilizing. They're coming here." Palpatine's yellow eyes burned. "Then I'll destroy them myself." The Jedi strike team assembled Mace Windu, Yoda, Count Dooku, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Kit Fisto. They marched through the Senate, building lightsabers ready. Senators fled. Guards stood aside. The Jedi's determination was absolute. They reached the Chancellor's office. Mace Windu didn't knock. The doors exploded open. Inside, Palpatine stood alone, smiling coldly. "Master Windu, Count Dooku, how kind of you to visit." "It's over, Sidious," Dooku said calmly. "We know what you are." Palpatine's smile widened. "Do you? And what will you do now? Kill an unarmed chancellor? The Senate will call it treason." "We'll call it justice," Mace replied. Palpatine laughed a cold, cruel sound. "Justice?" he hissed. "I am justice. I am the Senate." And he ignited twin red lightsabers. "If you want me dead," Palpatine snarled, "then come try." The Jedi moved as one, and the final battle for the Republic's soul began. Palpatine moved like a nightmare, twin red blades spinning, force lightning erupting from his fingertips. He was faster than any recording suggested, stronger than any intelligence predicted. He was a Sith Lord at full power. Mace Windu met him head-on Vapad, channeling Palpatine's darkness back at him. Their blades clashed purple against red, raw power against disciplined fury. Yoda attacked from the side, small, fast, relentless. His green blade struck like lightning. Anakin pressed from the left, Form V aggression overwhelming Palpatine's defenses. And Dooku, elegant, precise, coordinated their strikes with tactical brilliance. "You cannot win!" Palpatine screamed. "I have foreseen it!" "Your vision is clouded," Dooku replied calmly, and struck. Palpatine blocked, but barely. The Jedi drove him back step by step, strike by strike. Palpatine unleashed Force lightning at Yoda, but the Grand Master absorbed it and redirected it. Palpatine tried to crush Anakin's throat, but Dooku severed the Force grip with a precise counter. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Sith was losing. Palpatine's face twisted with rage. "If I fall, the Republic falls with me." He unleashed a massive Force shockwave, blowing out the Senate chamber windows, hurling debris, cracking walls. Mace Windu was thrown back. Kit Fisto fell. Obi-Wan barely held his ground. But Dooku stood firm. "You're wrong, Sidious," Dooku said. "The Republic will survive, because we'll rebuild it without you." Anakin rejoined the fight, rage, controlled, focused, for Padme, for the Jedi, for everyone you tried to destroy. Together, Anakin and Dooku struck as one. Two lightsabers, blue and green, pierced Palpatine's chest. The Sith Lord gasped, yellow eyes wide with disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. Yoda stepped forward. "Possible it was, because together, we are stronger." Palpatine collapsed dead. The Sith were finished. The Senate chamber fell, silent smoke rising, debris settling, Jedi standing victorious. But outside, the galaxy watched in shock. The Supreme Chancellor, dead. The Jedi killers or saviors? And Count Dooku, exhausted, wounded, but alive, knew the hardest battle was just beginning. Rebuilding trust. Rebuilding the Republic. Rebuilding hope. The Senate convened an emergency session, leaderless, shocked, and demanding answers. Count Dooku stood before them not as a Jedi, but as a witness. Palpatine was Darth Sidious, Dooku declared. the Sith Lord who orchestrated the Clone Wars, manipulated the Senate, and tried to destroy the Jedi. Senators erupted in disbelief. Some demanded proof. Others called it a Jedi coup. Dooku presented everything: recordings, financial evidence, testimony from freed clones. Slowly, painfully, the Senate accepted the truth. But acceptance didn't mean healing. Palpatine's regime had left scars. Senators who'd supported him out of fear or greed. Systems devastated by the Clone Wars. Citizens who no longer trusted the government or the Jedi. Bail Organa stepped forward as interim chancellor. "We rebuild," he said firmly, "together." The Jedi Council dissolved its military role. The clone army was decommissioned clones given the choice to retire or serve as peacekeepers. Dooku worked alongside Organa, rooting out Palpatine's remaining agents, dismantling corrupt systems, restoring checks and balances. It took years. Some worlds refused to rejoin the Republic. Some senators clung to power. Some citizens never forgave the Jedi for not stopping Palpatine sooner. But progress was made. Anakin Skywalker became a Jedi Master, training the next generation with Dooku's lessons of balance and restraint. Obi-Wan helped negotiate peace treaties with former separatist worlds. Yoda rebuilt the Jedi Order smaller, humbler, more connected to the people they served. And Dooku, aging, weary, but fulfilled, finally retired to Sereno. Qui-Gon visited him there. "You did it, Master," Qui-Gon said. "You saved the Republic." Dooku smiled faintly. "I delayed its collapse. The rest is up to them." "That's all we can ever do," Qui-Gon replied. They stood on the balcony watching the sunset over Sereno's valleys. The galaxy wasn't perfect. It never would be. But the Sith were gone. The Jedi survived. And the Republic, scarred but standing, had a chance. Dooku closed his eyes. And for the first time in decades, he felt peace. The end.